Hi, I'm Christy Ray, and you're watching Tony Has 9 Fingers.
What is going on, people? If you couldn't tell by the title, this is episode number 2 of my rare and out-of-print DVDs and Blu-rays in my collection over here. And I decided to do number 2 because you seem to like the first one. It got some of the most views I've gotten in a while. So, I decided to go through, and this is going to be just my horror DVDs and Blu-rays in my little section back there. So, it's not as big, but there's a few titles in here that, are a little harder to find, a little harder to get, and some you might not have known might be worth a little bit more than you thought. I looked on Amazon. Some of these, I don't know if it's certain versions of the movie or like covers or companies that put them out kind of make them a little bit more expensive. I checked it out on eBay and on Amazon, and the prices pretty much range about the same, so that's what I kind of took my basis off of. Let me get into this because I don't want to make it too long. The last one was like 20 minutes long. Anyway, let me get into it. I'm going to show off my DVDs first, and then I got 2 Blu-rays to show you that are, a little bit more expensive. So the first one is out of the Amityville series. There's another one, I believe, I forget what it's called, to tell you the truth. I had it and then I lost it. But anyway, this is in the Amityville series, and this one's going for about like 40-something bucks. And I believe it's out of print, and the movie is the Amityville Dollhouse. I remember liking this one overall because it has a different tone to it than all the other Amityville movies. This is pretty much a haunted, I guess you want to call it, dollhouse that kind of messes with the whole family and whatever. I remember liking this one a whole lot, and then when I found out it was out of print, I was like, score, because I got this relatively cheap back in the day when I first started collecting movies, probably like at least 12 years ago. So Amityville Horror. This one is one I kind of found out of nowhere. I believe there's another one like this. What is it called now? I can't. Not The Neighbor. But it has almost the same premise. But this one, there's a movie called American Crime. This one here is called An American Crime. 2 different movies. This one stars Elaine Page and Catherine Keener, and that is An American Crime. This is where the Ellen Page and her 2 siblings are sent to, I believe it's her aunt's house or something like that, and pretty much the aunt is a horrible person. She kind of takes those children and neglects them and puts them through some grueling things, and it's just a very cringe-worthy movie, I guess you want to call it. But that's An American Crime. There, like I said, there is American Crime. This one, I believe, just the snapper case of this movie is worth something. Like I said, I guess certain editions are worth more than others. But this movie has freaking, what's his name in it? I can't even think of his name now. David Arquette. Well, I don't know why that was so hard. But anyway, it's from the producer of Independence Day and Godzilla. And that movie is Eight-Legged Freaks. Again, I looked it up. The regular DVD isn't going for much, but if you put snapper case, you'll find ones going for like 40 bucks. So I'm guessing it's just the snapper case. Good thing I kept some of these, because some of these snapper cases are worth more than most. This one stars Naomi Watts, and this one is a remake, I believe. And for some reason, this one's going for more than the remake, and it's called Funny Games. This one is where 2 kids go to Naomi Watts' house and ask for, I believe it's bread and milk or something like that, and then pretty much take over the family and start tormenting them and terrorizing them and whatever. But this one is worth almost like 40 bucks. I was very surprised. This one, I don't know if it's because it's a little rarer or something, but this one I noticed was going for some good amount of money. Certain ones are going for over 100. I know it's more of whatever the person decides to sell it for, but this one has the one guy, what's his name, from Mark Holton from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Francis, and that is Gacy. This is about John Wayne Gacy, pretty much the guy behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of deal, where it's a different taking on, I guess you want to call it, but this is where he dresses up as clowns and attacks young boys and kills them or whatever. But this is a different, like, Mark Holton kind of movie. Like I said, he's from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He's also in The Little Giants as Zoltek, the farting kid's father. So it's a different take on it. This one recently came out on Scream Factory Blu-ray, and this one out of the whole series is going for a decent amount of money, and that's Gingersnaps. This is a female-driven werewolf movie. It stars Catherine Isabel from American Mary and See No Evil 2 and a whole bunch of other things. And then Emily Perkins. She's from It, the original It. So, yeah, Gingersnaps. This one's for going for a decent amount of money, and that's Lake Placid. I wouldn't expect this one to go for a good amount of money. It's over. I pretty much took anything out. I didn't really look to see if a lot of them are out of print. I was just looking at prices, and this one is over $30. So anything over $30 that I would think in my mind that wouldn't be so much, I kind of pulled out. But that's Lake Placid. This one I knew was a little harder to get, and it's the Maximum Overdrive. This is Stephen King's movie. You're going to actually see a decent amount of Stephen King's movies in this for some reason. I don't know if they're harder to get or whatever, but Maximum Overdrive, I remember getting this years back for like $20. So I'm like, I never found it on DVD beforehand, so that's why I thought it might have been a little more. But this is where all the appliances, I forget if it's a comet or something, but all the appliances and cars and stuff kind of come to life and start attacking people. This one, I believe it's the legacy version of this, and the other ones are in this series are a little, $20 or whatever, but this one's going upwards or close to 50. So I don't know if it's just the legacy version of this or whatever, but that's what I looked up, and it's the first Sleepaway Camp. If you saw in my old videos, I got the Scream Factory version of this, but this is the Sleepaway Camp, the first one, again by Legacy, and this is going close to 50. Another Stephen King movie, and I remember buying this movie on Amazon when I first started collecting DVDs for $2, and then it came to like $5 with shipping, and now it's going upwards of $100, and that's Stephen King's Storm of the Century. So I don't know if this is just a little more rare or whatever, but I picked this up for literally I bought the movie for under $2, but then shipping and handling put it to around $5. So this is going upwards of $100. This is another one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Out of all of them, this is going for more than the rest. Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey's in this. And this is probably like the worst one out of the series, but it's going for the most money. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. This is another one. I remember buying a whole bunch of them when I first saw them. And I go for like the used ones, but the ones that say really good condition. And most of them came fine. This is another Stephen King one, and this is Thinner. This is where the guy runs over a gypsy woman and her son or something. I forget what it is, but the guy's old, but I think it's her son or something like that, and the woman was in her hundreds, and the son puts a curse on this one guy who in the beginning of the movie was a big fat guy, and he puts a curse that he would just get thinner, and no matter what he does, he can eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. He's losing weight horribly, eventually kind of looking like a skeleton. I remember watching this when I was young, and I got very scared. This is another one that I did not even expect being, a good amount of money, and it's another snapcase, if you couldn't hear it. But this one stars Denise Richards, Marley Shelton, Katherine Heigl. I think this is one of her first roles that I remember her being in. David Berniaz. I think I heard that name somewhere. But the movie is called Valentine. This is one where it's Valentine's Day, and people start getting these random notes and then disappearing and getting killed and whatever, and you find out at the end who the killer is and what's going on. But that's Valentine, and this is going for around $40 as well. Again, a snapper case. A lot of these snapper cases I notice are, a decent amount of money. And these two are two Blu-rays that I have that are going for a decent amount of money. This one I know went up because the actor in the movie died, and it's a double pack. It stars Dr. Giggles and Otis. This is going for around $50. Again, the guy from Dr. Giggles passed away, so that's when I think this movie kind of shot up. I don't know how many were made, but this is the double feature. And then this one I got for around $30. I knew it was going up because it was getting out of print, so it was a good thing I got it when I did, because now it's going around $90 on certain sites and certain things. And this is from Code Red, and the movie is Savage Streets. This is where Linda Blair stars in it, and Linnea Quigley, and Linnea Quigley's Linda Blair's sister, and she's deaf and mute and all this stuff, and a gang of guys pretty much attack her, and now Linda Blair's on the warpath going after these guys because these guys are bad news and whatever. And I remember seeing a trailer for it. I never watched it when I was young, never watched it, back then. The first time I watched it is when I picked it up, and a lot of people were talking about it, so that's why I went out and got it. And again, I got it for around $30, so I knew it was on the up and up. So now it's going close upwards of like 70, 80, $90. So I'm glad I got it when I did. And yeah, so that right there is the movies I went through. That's just in my horror collection. Depending on how crazy this or how much attention this video gets, or the feedback that I get, I might go, like I said, I got a whole bunch of movies, and then if I turn it, I got movies in my closet over there, all stacked up. That was back in the day. If you used to watch my old videos, I'd have them all stacked up until I started watching Blu-ray. So I got a whole bunch of stuff hidden in there. So I'm going to go and do that. There's going to be more of a miscellaneous, rare and out of print. This was mostly focused on horror movies. So hopefully you liked it. Again, maybe some of this stuff you didn't know you had in your collection. You didn't know it was worth anything, or you might go and try to search these ones out. I know a lot of people go out and thrift stores and stuff like that. I would do that a whole lot more, but I don't have many thrift stores over here, so that's kind of like the downfall. All our Blockbusters and mom and pop shops and whatever are now gone, so it's hard for me to go out and, besides Best Buy or something, maybe I'll take a day when I'm have off or something and kind of try to find all these other stuff. Like, I know there's maybe 2 pawn shops around here, so we'll check it out. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any of these movies, let me know in the bottom. If there's any movies out there that you know are harder to find and I maybe overlooked them, list some names in the bottom section, or in the comments, the bottom section. But again, hopefully you liked it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Check out all my videos. I'm going to try to link the first one I did of this, my rare and out of print movies, on the bottom. And yeah, again, hopefully you enjoyed this. And until next time, actually check all the show notes. Until next time, I'll see you guys. If you found the review you just watched enlightening and you want more of them, go ahead, hit that subscribe button in the corner, and check out all the other reviews I have, such as Horror Pack reviews and Netflix and Chiller. If you want to check out all the other things I have, go ahead and check out my Instagram, where I show off the movies I have behind me. Or check out my Twitter, where I post all my videos and more. If you want to do that, go ahead, hit those buttons, and until next time, I'll see you.